Christian was talking a few weeks ago about playing 10 personnel, 4 receivers. I guess more often than you'll have in the last few years. Can you elaborate on what that might? Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we're always going to base out of 11 personnel. That's who we are. I mean, that's what we've built around here for a long time. There's been years, if you go back to 2018, we were a lot of 10 personnel, and our personnel dictated that. That's just kind of, if you go back to 21, we were a lot of 40 personnel, what we call 40 personnel, because that's just where we were, right? And, we're trying to find a way to win the game, not necessarily – be a system, if you will. I mean, you gotta play the hand that you got, and so I think we've always done that. But with this football team, for sure, no question. I mean, we'll be a base 11 personnel. You'll see some 12, you'll see some 10, you'll see some 20 and 40. You'll see multiple person. We'll be a multiple personnel team, and when we've been at our best, we've been able to do that. But it certainly starts with tight ends for us, and being able to have that presence, in the run game and the pass game.
Dabo, Brent shared Julie's diagnosis, and I know you have your big event every summer. You guys, as a university, as a college football, showed how you can love with the Brzee family. Last year, again, another player touched, and a personal connection for you guys. Carrying that into a season, and how do you love and support your player as Tyler goes through this?
Well, I mean, Jeremiah Trotter lost his mom, Tammy, to breast cancer just the last few months. And so, we've been through that. And anytime you're dealing with people and you're surrounded by a lot of people, life happens. And, so you can't take the pain away. You just try to walk through the pain with them. Just really, you put your arms around them. You just try to, love them and try to help them. You just walk through it with them. You wish you could take it away, but you can't. You try to just. We have a lot of resources here, for sure, that we try to expend. Whenever something happens, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help. That particular person that's impacted by it navigate, the situation or circumstance that they're dealing with. And it's, our prayers are with Brent and Julie. That was a tough conversation this summer, and with T-Bone and with Brent. Cass talked to Julie several times. I mean, listen, we love the Venables. These are family. I mean, we've spent, a lot of years together, and so it's really difficult when we deal with it. The good news is everything to this point has been best case scenario, and she's freaking tough. You got to be tough to be married to Brent Venables. First of all, you ain't surviving in that house if you ain't tough. Because he's crusty. But she's amazing. I mean, she's a nurse by trade, so she has a background and really has a good understanding. But they diagnosed her, and again, the reports to this point have been very positive, and so, man, I'm really proud of T-Bone. Tyler has grown into one of the best leaders that we've had come through this team. In fact, he stood up last night for probably 30 minutes and spoke to our team, and it was amazing. He lifted everybody up in that room as he talked about his journey here, and how he's grown. I mean, and I've known T-Bone since the 4th grade, so I've kind of had a front row seat to his journey and how he's really transformed his life. I mean, he is an amazing kid, an amazing leader, and so he's in a good space. And again, we'll just keep him in our prayers and hopefully continue to, get good news as she's got a lot to navigate. She's had one surgery. She's got to, she's going to have another one in a few months. And so she's going through a lot, but she's tough as nails.
Linebacker with the Dudley dismissal, I think you're down to 6. Is that correct, scholarship-wise?
Yep.
What's kind of your plan depth-wise behind those first 3?
You got any eligibility? Oh man, well, it's a tough situation, right here in August at camp to lose a guy. We felt really good about where our number's 8. That's our number that we try to have at linebacker. And obviously, in some years you have a number at every position. Some years you're above maybe 1. Some years you're down 1. Most of the time we're right at it. This is one of those years where, we were going to be under 1 and we felt really good about the 7. And kind of having an 8th guy, one of our really good walk-on guys, kind of being an 8th guy, or a bigger safety that could maybe fill a need. We've got some options there, but it's definitely disappointing to lose a player for sure. But hey, we like the 6 we got, and we're the good news is we don't you don't really have a lot of 4-3 anymore. Because most of the teams are 11 personnel, and so you're still 3 deep at each spot there. Just got to hopefully have a little luck along the way. Obviously, we're if we don't have Barrett Carter and Trotter, these are 2 future first-round draft picks probably, and if you don't have those 2 guys out there, you're probably not quite as good. But guess what? That's the same for everybody in the country. When your best players aren't on the field, it probably changes things. So, but we like the depth that we have as far as who they are. Got a couple young guys that it's going to be a big fall camp for. But you need a little break. 2018, man, Clee and Christian and Dexter and Austin stayed healthy all year. And so you got to have a little luck along the way, and hopefully it'll fall our way this year in that regard.
What's your favorite part about today? Going out there and the music starts blaring, the boys are back in town, and you see some of these fresh faces that are going to become something else 4 years from now.
Yeah, I mean all of it really, but that last meeting, that team meeting I just came from. I mean, when you're finally at this point, I mean these guys have been working for a long time to get to this point, to this day. We just came through 2 days of a lot of meetings. Kind of program installation, if you will, a lot of academic stuff that we have to deal with, and so now, man, it's kind of behind you, and it's just like everybody's ready to go. And so I love this day. I love to see some of these guys. Like I can't wait to see Avion Terrell, this kid I met in the 6th grade or whatever when he was a little chubby guy. I can't wait to see him out there on the field. It's just really cool, to see that. So I'm fired up about it, and can't wait to get out on the practice field. I love our staff. I don't think we've ever been better. I think, our support staff is amazing. That's been a lot of fun. Seeing our support groups kind of show off, if you will, and present to our team, the things that they needed to present. We've got a really, really good group from our bistro staff to nutrition. Man, let me tell you, Megan, she's a rock star, and she crushed it, this spring and summer. Bina, Bina's a rock star. Pat, our trainer, our strength staff is amazing. I mean, there's just we just have so many quality people throughout our organization that work so hard to get us to this point. So it's just fun to finally get on the field and to be able to kind of just start. It's one day, but man, it's an important day, and that's really our mindset. Just have a great day today, and let's try to let's don't waste one. Let's just keep going because the margin for error is very small. We know that. So, man, every day that ends in Y, we got to find a way to be our best.
Dabo said one of his lessons from last year is he needs to play more calm. Beyond the obvious of what he can do to get better at that, what can the system do and the coaching do to sort of facilitate more comfort and confidence with his execution? Yeah,
well, he's a young guy, and you want to be great. He's just kind of bouncing around, and yeah, I think he can. The game can slow down a little bit for him. I think for a lot of young guys, the game can be a little fast early on. So part of it is just the physical and mental growth on his part and the game slowing down. So that's part of it. And then from a coaching standpoint, it's just, you you just equip him with some things. Sometimes, you know, like Taj Boyd, man, listen, I'm going to get him tackled about 3 times, all right, to figure out, all right, now he's ready to go play. You know, some guys need different things. Maybe it's a layup, you know, maybe it's that first completion. You know, maybe it's just depending on where you are. These are week to week, game to game. When you're dealing with a young player, maybe it's leaning on the running game a little bit early. Maybe it's a little play action. Maybe it's the, you know, whatever. Maybe it's getting him out of the pocket. There's a lot of things that you know, to answer that question that you do, and that's a, you know, player specific, game by game, you know, type of a deal. But I think he's in a great place. I mean, he's completely transformed. I mean, he's 205. He's night and day from where he was. Again, and there's no greater teacher than experience. So he knows. He's got a clear vision of how we prepare, what our game week looks like. You know, you know, the installation. This is not new ball. You know, there's you know, a few little systematic things and some procedural stuff and some different terminology here and there, but it's still stuff he's been doing his whole life. So he's a natural. And so, you know, you hope that just the maturation process physically and mentally, and that as the game slows for him from a knowledge standpoint, that kind of happens naturally.
Yeah, but one of the things you said in spring camp, Antonio Williams, was that you wanted to see him embrace more of a leadership role. I was curious, how did you see him embrace that, and just, you know, what are some of the things you're hoping to see out of him as fall camp starts?
Yeah, well, he did what he needed to do physically. I mean, he's gotten serious. He got his butt in that weight room. He didn't get to have power hour, so he was a little behind there because, you know, he had to play, and so he needed to kind of catch up a little physically. He's done that. I'm really proud of him there. And then he needed to get accountable, you know, he's done that. You know, so those are 2 huge things. You know, he was a guy early on, kind of a freshman, especially when you come in, you have a little success, you can get a little, you know, lackadaisical, if you will, on some of the small things. And next thing you know, you look up and you're one of the 5 guys negative on the accountability teams. And, you know, so you can't lead from like that. And now, you know, but he's done a great job. So, I mean, he's done what he needs to do physically. He's done what he needs to do accountability-wise so that he can lead. You know, because nobody's going to follow a guy that's not accountable to doing the little things right. And so I'm really proud of him. He's going to have a great year.
And looking at your offensive line, looking at some of the weigh-in numbers, big boys. Is this one of the more impressive physically looking groups that you've had here?
Yeah, and they're mature. I mean, so we only lost 1 guy. I mean, and he's playing for the Chargers now. And, you know, I hadn't got any reports out of there, but I would bet that he's probably doing pretty good. So we only lost 1 guy, and we only lose 1 this year, Will Putnam. And so this is a group that's kind of been around for a while, and you know they've been grinding, and you know you can't polish anything up without grinding it, right? And you know, so they're a group that's I think made of the right stuff. I love the versatility of the group. I think it's, as I've said a couple of times already, I think this is the deepest we've been in a while, in that I think we will have the ability to play a bunch of guys and not, you know, stand over on the sideline like this, like, oh, God, I hope he gets it right. You know, I think we got guys we can trust and guys that are ready to go play. So I'm excited about the group. We got some questions. Like, we got to figure out, like, who's the best 5, you know? And here's the good news. It's not who's the best 5 of the worst, you know, because I've been in that situation too. We're like, all right, well, who's the next guy? Who's our best guy that's not going to get us beat? We've got a tough decision in a good way, because I think we've got about 7 or 8 guys that really can compete to be in the 5. And I think that's a really, really good situation to be in. So I'm excited about that, and I think we're going to have really good depth when it's all said and done. So a good group, and again, a mature group.
What was the process of bringing on Adam's older brother? Is it walk on Austin, and do you think
he just wanted to walk on, you know, and I mean, he's certainly high-level walk-on. I mean, he's got college experience, and he's a graduate, you know, and just wanted to get a different college experience. And so obviously, you know, his brother's here and know his family and all that. And he just wanted to walk on and see if he can find a way to contribute. And, you know, we'll see how he does. I don't know a lot about him. I haven't been on the field. He's one of those guys we'll see. I mean, I think he's mostly been a special teams type guy. He's going to probably work some corner and maybe a little safety as well. So, you know, we'll see. We got a lot of depth there, but, you know, we'll see where he is.
It's been like having Chad back around.
No, it's been great. Yeah, it's like I'm living in the twilight zone. I told him that like last night because I'm still not used to him being here. And I was walking, late meeting last night. I'm walking around and I got Jeff Scott's moved 2 doors down from me, Cass taking food to them, and Chad Morris is in the building, and I'm going, I am living in the twilight zone around here. But it's been great. You know, Chad's awesome. You know, he's been gone 8 seasons. It's crazy. You know, the last time he had been to Clemson was the Sunday after the South Carolina game in 2014. You know, is when he left to go to SMU, and he hadn't been back here since. So obviously a lot has changed in 8 years. A lot has changed. He hadn't seen any of this building, and obviously as a program we've been through a lot, et cetera. And so it's been great, and, you know, hopefully we can really help him kind of, you know, reset himself. It's going to be a great situation. He's a special assistant to football, and he's going to really work with the defense and the offense. And kind of did the same thing with Ted Roof, came in here a couple of years ago and kind of spent a year. You know, so he's very cheap labor, if you will, you know, for his expertise. Obviously he's been a head coach, and he's been a very successful coordinator as well. And so, you know, he'll just be one of those guys like a lot of these programs have. He'll be a guy that kind of be a week ahead. He'll make a few games, but not all of them, because, you know, he's obviously in a unique situation. So he's going to go and you know, see Chandler play. His son's going to be the starting quarterback at TCU, I'm assuming. So he'll get a chance to be a dad, and but also be able to help Clemson as well, something he really wanted to do, and just stay involved and stay engaged. So, you know, he'll be a week ahead and study the upcoming opponent's offense, upcoming opponent's defense, and, you know, just give another layer, another lens, add some value, and maybe helping some high school relations, and just, you know, wherever he wants to jump in and help, you know, we'll see. But yeah, it's good that it worked out, that he could come back.
Dabo, Shipley's obviously gifted in all aspects of the game. Do you plan on riding him again as far as a kickoff return? Do you worry about him injury wise that way? Well,
that's why we brought James Davis back, so we could bring back the Thunder and Lightning. You know, we've got a two-headed monster, and if things go like I expect them to go, both of those guys are going to have amazing years, just like JD and Spiller when the last time JD was here. I really anticipate Maffa and Shipley, you know, really feeding off each other and making a lot of plays for the Tigers this year. But, yeah, I mean, Shipley is – I mean, he can do it all. I mean, did I not play C.J. Spiller? You know, I think we've had – I saw this note. Ross gave me a note the other day. I think we're going for our 14th year in a row with our defense having multiple touchdowns. Is that right? And the reason I remember that is I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I was trying to think about it. And then I was like, when was the last? And so the last time we didn't do that was 2009, my first year. But you know what happened that year? We had 6 special teams touchdowns. There was a guy named Spiller. So, you know, I never took him off a kick return and all that. And man, I'm trying to win every game we can. So, you know, I'm not going to have Shipley long. And it's just another touch. I mean, it's no different than handing the ball on the inside zone or the counter. In fact, you got more room to run on a kickoff return than anywhere out there. I mean, so you get a guy. He's made some big plays for us. He's flipped some fields. Y'all think about that Louisville. I think it was Louisville. Was it Louisville that he had that big return? Almost took it to the house. Kind of helped us out in that game big time. I mean, he's had some big returns for us. So he's a problem. He's a problem. We've had some teams not kick it to him. So we're gonna use him every which way. We're gonna hand it to him, throw it to him, flip it to him, screen it to him, have kick returns, whatever it may be. And I think you'll see Maffa some as well. I think he's certainly got the ability to be a big time returner for us too.
Any additional questions for Coach? Coach, anything else when we get to work?
I'm ready to get to work. Y'all have a great day. Let's have some fun. Thank you.